Did things change from the first to the last 2 periods?
No, I thought we were better in the second than we were in the first.
Is it the third period then that just sort of gets away? Or?
I mean, you're chasing, you're down. We did a lot of good things tonight. We probably did enough offensively to score 6. We just didn't manage the puck, so we gave them free offense. That's not taking anything away. Utica played good, and they executed their offensive chances, but too many were kind of handouts by us. And when you're playing a good team and a desperate team and a hungry team, you can't just give them some of those chances. And obviously, that you don't want that number against you.
2 pretty noteworthy absences up front, Victor Neuchev and Yuri Kulik. We saw what happened with Kulik. Is there an update on either of those guys?
Cooley's out day-to-day, upper body, so don't like the hit for sure, but it is what it is. And then Neuchev was rest. I mean, we're in the middle of a 7-11, and I think that we had more fresh forwards in the lineup, but I think our forward group was better than the D. And because of the injuries on D and some of that we haven't been able to do that as much on the D corps in this stretch of games. And I thought some of them, the first thing to go when you're tired is your mind. You make dumb decisions, and I think that led to some of the mistakes that we made.
I do want to go back to the Kulik thing, because when we talked with you Friday, none of us had seen that. You said you didn't even see the hit. So now that you have, what did you see?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So.
Did you want the league to look at it? Did they look at it?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter. They got hurt.
Well, they don't suspend guys for it, so it doesn't matter.
I wanted to ask you about Slager. I meaning to do something for a couple of weeks. I've been calling you to play today. It's not a great night to be asking about guys, but what you thought of him lately?
I thought that line tonight was excellent. Obviously, they were fresh. They went in fresh, and they gave us, we started them for a reason. First of all, we just really like Slags. You're asking about him, but Warren, Richards, they're really good hockey players. Sometimes they're not in. That's not an indication of how much we like them. Sometimes, your job in the American League is to also balance winning with developing and prospects and young kids and things like that. That line was all over it. They easily could have had a couple goals tonight. Slags is fast, he's smart, and he's competitive. He can play center, he can play left wing, he can play right wing, and he's a good penalty killer. So there's a lot of things that are valuable in terms of being a little bit of a Swiss Army knife and being able to insert himself in different spots. And, we're going to, he's a guy that we're going to need down the stretch, especially in this stretch of games. We're going to need everybody. And I thought that line was excellent tonight.
You'll play tomorrow. A Monday game is sort of out of routine for you guys. How does that affect the team, if at all?
Oh, I mean, it just affects from the amount of volume of games right now. And you just have, like I said, tonight, you have to, these are lessons, we're talking about trying to treat this a little bit like a 7-game playoff series with how quick the games are coming. You can't dwell on losses, and you can't beat yourself up over losses. We're 2-1 in this stretch. Didn't like the result today. Learn from it quickly and move on. What you learn from today is, how smart you need to play with the puck in a game where you're maybe not quite as fresh. And so you need to learn that lesson going into tomorrow, because tomorrow's 4th game in 6 days now. So manage the game with your puck management and your decisions with your mind a little bit better than we did today.
Overall in the season, the team's been giving up 3.7 goals per game compared to just 3.2 last year. Is there anything you can kind of point to that?
We've been great defensively for the last 20 games. Our last 20 games, our defensive numbers have been awesome. Yeah. So first 20 weren't good enough. Our last 20, every defensive metric has went dramatically up. So tonight, we gave up too many big chances. So, but I don't feel that way over the last 20, 25 games.
Where does goaltending play in today?
I don't think he was sharp, but he hasn't played in a while either, and that's tough. That's not an excuse, because it's a responsibility. He's a pro, and he's been good for us. But it is a position that sometimes being in a rhythm is easier, and he hasn't played in a while. But you know, I don't think that was, you know, there was a night that, you know, I'm sure he'd want some of those back. And then in defense of him, I think we gave up.
So there were some pretty prime chances.
Yeah, not the volume of chances, the quality of chances, as I talked about before, was a little too high because of some of the mistakes we made mentally.
Maybe the shorthanded 2-on-1, the Willman one-timer, I mean, pretty grade A chances.
Yeah, you know, but I think we had a lot too. You know, we gave up more than I'd like to give up tonight. You know, but that is why the goalie is there as well. Is that, you know, mistakes are going to be made. This is a game of mistakes, and we need him to make some saves to get us out of some mistakes that we make. He's done a really good job of that, and tonight he wasn't able to. And that's part of it.
Is it too early to start thinking about top three to avoid that playing series? We're not mid-February. Is it too early for that?
I think right now, you know, I'm just worried about this 7-game stretch. You come out of this 7-game stretch and, you know, take a breath for a second, not a short second because more games are coming, but I'm worried about winning this 7-game stretch. This 7-game stretch is daunting in opponents, the end volume of games and physical style of play of opponents, and some of travel. And so, you know, we looked at this 7 games, looking at like it's going to be hard to go 6-1 or 7-0 in it, but you want to make sure that you don't go 5-1 or something like that and slide in the standings. So right now, that's my focus is this 7-game stretch. We're 2-1 in it, and want to go to Toronto tomorrow and give ourselves a chance to get points tomorrow in Toronto.
Does playing in the big building add anything?
I think it helps in a situation where it's an afternoon game in the back end of a 4-6. I think it helps a ton.
Just mentally to...
NHL arena, you know, it's Toronto, right? It's a you know, it's one of the biggest hockey markets in the world, and everybody knows that. And you're going into the Maple Leafs arena, and there's probably going to be a pretty big crowd there. And you know, usually when they do those day games on holidays, they seem to get 10, 12,000 a lot of times for those games. And so I think that helps. It just gives you a little extra energy, and it's exciting. Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity for the guys. Absolutely.
Kind of maybe that boost that maybe I'm not as tired as I really am. For
sure. You know, that it's mental warfare on yourself in those moments. You know, you gotta, the legs might be tired, you can't be tired in the mind. You know, and so you got to play tricks with yourself sometimes, and you got to find ways to keep yourself mentally sharp. And like I said, our legs didn't let us down tonight, our minds did. And that's a lesson we got to learn going into tomorrow.
What is the holiday in Canada tomorrow?
What's that?
What is the holiday in
I
Canada?
have no idea.
Family Day in Ontario.
I don't know.
Providence Day or something in Nova Scotia. It's something else in Prince Edward. It's true.
There's no school. That's all I know.
That sounds made up to me.
But probably just as
Physicality
much
was a
traffic.
big aspect of the game tonight. How do you feel the team hung in there with Utica?
Yeah, I think that we're a committed physical team, and that doesn't bother us a lick anymore. The first 10, 15 games, maybe it did, being a young team. You know, I liked our physicality tonight. No issues at all.